Hello my friend and welcome to the Thrive 5 Daily Mobility Series here at the end of week 2 for our specialist session. Now this is a deep dive looking at a specific area with a bit more detail, giving you some tools to not only maintain but improve the range of movement. In today's focus is the ankle. Okay, so we're just going to be going over 2 drills. The first one we're going to be looking at rotations. Okay. And that is a great maintenance tool to both clean up, but indeed maintain the health and active range of movement in your ankle. But then I'm going to give you something a little bit more intense that can look to improve the flexion, the dorsiflexion there, which is going to really help to improve not only just everyday movement, but things like running, squatting, lunging, and things like that that do require that ankle to flex forward and allow you to get deeper into those positions. So without further ado, I'd love you to join me down on the floor in this sort of seated position. Okay, so we can focus on one leg at a time for our rotations. These are going to be 45 seconds. We're going to be thinking about alternating direction, going slower. More than likely, we're going to want to go slower than you would instinctually go for. We're going to go in clockwise and counterclockwise, okay? And what I want you to imagine with each passing revolution, that the air gets like 10, 20% thicker and you have to work really hard through it. I don't want this to just feel chill. I want you to really imagine scraping the edges of this joint. You're going to have to work hard. The tissues are going to have to work hard to push and pull you in different directions, okay? That's the mobility side of things where we are combining strength with range. Okay, so I like to hug my upper thigh here, so I then have freedom to move here and just isolate that ankle. So if you get yourself ready in this position, 45 seconds is coming on now. Pressing my big toe away, and I'm going to scrape towards the left, drawing that semicircle around. As I come back to the start, and then I'm going to go again. More than likely hearing some like a bowl of Rice Krispies or whatever they're called in your part of the world. Good snap, crackle, and pop, completely normal, especially if you are working these as hard as I want you to. Really scraping the edges, probably get some heat and burn going on and all those small muscles in the foot and the ankle there. Good, just overrunning my 45 seconds slightly to complete that revolution. Lovely, and without further ado, I want us to jump straight into the second side. So let's hug up that leg. 45 seconds coming on now. Press away, scraping left, around, back to where I started to go the other way. This is something you can really sneak in anywhere to accumulate some extra reps and keep those ankles happy, because more than likely they just won't be seeing all the range of movement they have in them, which can often make them a bit vulnerable to things like sprains and tweaks, because they simply don't see certain ranges of movement, and then suddenly you're on a football field or you're running or something. So sneaking in a few of these under your desk or when you're on your commute, or frankly anywhere, not only feels good, but you are just accumulating some reps, getting nice and strong there. That's going to be a rest for that. We're now going to dig into something called PAILS and RAILs. Now these are a series of isometric contractions, PAILS being progressive, the P, and the R is regressive, angular isometric loading. This is done at the end range, in this case, of our ankle flexion here, dorsiflexion forward. So what I want you to do is get into this half kneeling base, make yourself comfortable however you need to do so. I'm going to drive my knee forward over the toe before that heel wants to lift. So if I was to go there, for example, the heel lifts. So I'm just going to backtrack right until there, but I still feel that intense stretch on the front. We're going to hold this for 1 minute, and I'm going to give you your instructions there so I keep us to our time promise. 1 minute on the clock. I want to feel a reasonable stretch here, but I'm not doing anything else. Yes, I'm leaning on my knee a bit to load that stretch up. That's okay. From here, once we get to our top of our minute, we're going to perform a series of contractions. Now we're going to do these just by me counting, okay? We're going to spend 5 seconds, first of all, building the intensity of pressing the foot away. So what I would imagine is driving my foot like a gas pedal or anything into the floor, but I'm not going anywhere. That's the isometric component, okay? The reason we ramp up is going from 0 to maximum intensity is, for lack of a better term, a little bit reckless, okay? So we're gonna build it up 20% at a time, 20% every second, all right? Across 5 seconds towards your safest and greatest effort. That simply means the most force that you can create without doing yourself any harm. That's gonna be relative to you. We're then gonna hold that intensity for 10 seconds before reversing the movement, where I'm going to think about pulling my toes towards my shin. So if you think about, we're applying force in one direction, holding that intensity. Should be hard and uncomfortable. I'm going to do my best to count, but ideally you wouldn't have to count. And then we're going to pull the other way, and you'll feel contractions on either side of that ankle joint. Just like that, we are here. So I want you to start doing that with me now. Start driving the balls of your foot forward into the floor. Build it up some more, 40%. Build it up some more, 60%. Build it up some more, 80%. And now your safest and greatest effort for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now reverse that and pull the toes towards your shin. Like you're trying to really close that ankle joint. Pull it towards for another 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax, but don't go anywhere. We're going to rest. We might feel like you've actually opened up a bit of range of motion here in the short term. So I want you to make sure you're still at your passive end range here. And we're going to hang out. We're going to recover a little bit here before going again one last time, and then we're going to repeat on the other side. Now for the record, I possess quite a lot of ankle range of motion. You can see how forward my shin is here. Yours might be anywhere from there to vertical, depending on the level of stiffness you have in the ankle. As long as you are at your passive end range, so where you feel that stretch, you are going to be challenging yourself and meeting yourself where you're at. Let's come in to our second set here before moving on. So start driving down for me, 20% intensity. Build it to 40, 60, 80. Everything you got here for 10 seconds. Really pressing the floor away. Imagining making a dent in the floor. You're driving your foot into it so much. 4, 3, 2, 1. Now pull your toes towards you. Imagine trying to lift your foot off the ground even though it's not going anywhere. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh, and come on out of it. Do some wiggles if you need to. That can feel really, really intense. All right, but that's an amazing tool there for opening up new range of motion for you to use. Let's mirror that up on the other side of the body here and waste no time. 1 minute on the clock. Just making any adjustments we need to make sure we're our most stretched position there. Open that out. There we go. Again, these can be some of the hardest contractions. It looks funny because you're not doing anything except making a screwed up face and being sweaty on the floor. But that is the correct response. Now, it takes practice to get there and to feel comfortable applying that much force here. And it is important that you be very steady with these, all right? If you ever feel anything outside of just your typical burning or just that general discomfort that will come with this kind of training, if you feel any pain or sharp pain, you back right on off and don't work, all right? No heroics. We never work through pain. That is going to be rule number 1. Good. Just going to hang out for another 15 seconds, then begin that first ramp up for us here. Okay, let's begin that first set here, pressing the balls of the foot into the floor lightly here, building it up some more to 40% intensity, 60, 80, and now everything you've got really driving that floor away with the foot, front of the foot really pressing away, trying to extend away here. Keep it up for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now pull the foot towards you, reversing that movement, trying to pull it back off the ground. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Now relax back into that position. Again, like I said, you might have pulled yourself in deeper noticeably. Okay, just make sure you're still at that end stretch position. We're going to recover here. Get a couple of nice deep breaths through the nose. And we're gonna go for our last set, and then we're gonna conclude our session there. So start ramping up for me here, pressing that foot away, 20% intensity to 40, now to 60, now to 80, and now holding everything you've got, driving that floor away, isometrically, right? So we are working really hard against that immovable force that is the floor. Keep it coming, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now pull your toes towards you. Feel that tissue lighting up on the front of the foot where the ankle meets the shin. 6, 5, 4, hard as you can. 3, 2, 1. And come on out of it. So there we've introduced PAILS and rails for ankle dorsiflexion, right? And you can see how important that is if we're ever in a squat freely, the capacity for that shin to be able to glance forward like so. All right, really important. There's a new tool in the toolbox, and I'm gonna look forward to cracking on with you tomorrow at the start of week 3. Thank you very much for joining me today, and I'll see you then.